I'm not going to be the one to be blamed if things don't go right, because we didn't go live in the 9th. I got to put the chat away, but the only thing I have is the chat to talk to. That's the problem right now. Also, openly admit, I can't remember if Nick's back or if it's Craig or if I was supposed to give someone else a link. Open and honest right now, I have no clue what's going on, other than we just walk the leadoff guy. Andrew Abbott, in regards to his leash, I don't know. I don't know what the leash is here. Like any second, it's over, right? I mean, you can take him out now if you'd like. I think you can take him out mid at bat. I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but maybe mid at bat. Nick, thumbs up if you're good, man. All right, let's do this. So let's bring it in big time, big league. Boom. I got to put your audio back on because I didn't know. You just want to make sure that you weren't hot when you came into the show. Here we are, walk the leadoff man, and now we are I thought mid at bat I'm okay with making a change. Wow, we're getting strikes called that probably aren't strikes.
This guy's been all over the place.
Pretty bad. He's been pretty bad. He must have a good relationship with Tito.
I'm watching on a Fubo tonight.
Ooh, so you might be behind me. What count you got?
11. I'm on the Guardians broadcast too. So
okay, what do you got?
6-5 pitch, foul 3-2.
Okay, wow, I'm ahead of you, big time ahead of you, big time.
Fubo sucks. I mean, this is a terrible app. Like, I can't believe how far behind it is.
Oh, you're well behind. All right, I got you. You're going to get a foul ball, and then I'm waiting for a pitch clock, and then I'll pause it. It doesn't appear that I'm getting a pitch clock. Give me a pitch clock, please. Okay, 7-6. I paused it right at the pitch. Let me know.
Okay.
It's
like they showed Tito before.
It's like 7-6-5, and then they
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Pitch swinging to Elly, to McLean.
Double play!
Double play!
Hey, look at that! I what a great sequence that was. I didn't even know what we were getting right there. It was just a pitch. I didn't even fathom the idea that he could have hit a walk-off home run right there. Yeah, meanwhile, I just got it paused for Fubo to catch up. Wow. Okay, now you give him one more hitter for sure. Unless he hits one over the fence, then I'll regret that decision. But I mean, I don't know. It's almost like a respect thing at this point. You go 8 2/3, and you got nobody on. You need one out. You got to give him a chance to go complete game right here. One hitter. He's got this guy, and that's it. Look at him blowing fastballs by Ramirez.
I wouldn't try that again.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good pitch, but, you know.
That was a good pitch.
That was a good pitch. That ball looked like it was a lot closer into the field of play than not, and
yeah, I thought
I don't know.
Might get a cheap pop up.
Yeah. That's it. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
That's got to be it, right? I mean, we're done here. Come on. No?
Wow. Where are you at in the batting order for the Guardians? Carlos Santana. I mean, I think Santana has better numbers in his career against lefties.
I don't really care about the splits at this point. It's just that my man Abbott looks like he's laboring. He's throwing pitches right down the middle.
Well,
if this works out, I'll take it.
Yeah. Carlos Santana, 821 career OPS against lefties, 766 against righties.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea. We got him.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with this call.
I mean, you
might get lucky. I mean, but
yeah, we'll take the out. I mean, I'll give Tito credit if he gets through this, but I don't really love the idea of letting him continue to throw. I mean, we're at a
I don't know. I don't want to be a complainer because all I see is people complaining about us complaining. But
no, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. It's just more or less like it seems like the day was over when that line drive entered center field. But hey, he's kind of. I guess in a way he's earned the right to lose the game as well. I get that, but
has he earned the right to wear down?
This is it.
I mean, this is a guy that 2 straight years has worn down as the season goes on, and we're pushing him to 110 pitches.
I'm not so much worried about his ass as just getting this last out.
Well, you got what you deserved. Oh my God. That was so stupid.
Clip it!
That was
Kirby
so
was all the way out. Kirby was all the way out.
So stupid.
He thought that thing was in the moon deck, and I don't know what they call that out there, but you can go ahead and clip it. Kirby thought it was out. Too bad it wasn't. It doesn't matter. Tito had it all along, boy. It was one of those things. He had it all along. He had it all along. That was a fly out right when it left the bat. Never in doubt. Reds win again. They win more times than not. It seems like lately, and we're going to be back and do a show just about it. Stick around.
Bench to bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. Back goes Clemente. And the save. He's done. Get out of here, baseball. It's gone. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep. In the dirt. It's a wild pitch. Here comes Foster. The Reds win the pennant. Perkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome, Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Chatterbox is a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, to the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive, hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club.
Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb.
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
All right, Nick. At this point, things are starting to get pretty serious. And the back word is a strong word to use, right? It's a word that I try not to frequent a whole lot. But, boy, are we close. We finally, Nick, got the 1-0 game to go our way. Maybe a couple more of those throughout the season, and it'll all even out, as they always said it would, Nick.
Yeah. Sorry, trying to get this thing up on Twitter. You know, these 640 games are just a blast. I love them so much.
I tell you, Nick's. Here's the thing. You know, sometimes in life, you can tell. I'm a guy that took my kids out. We went golfing today. I got home. My wife then took my son to his baseball practice. My youngest wanted to go with mom. So I got to sit around. I was eating chips on the couch. I got a soda. I went and got an ice cream bar. I was just quite literally living it up as basically what is a single man. It doesn't appear that you've had the same night, Nick. See, I can kind of see you've had maybe a different experience. I feel great. I feel like I've never been better. I mean, meanwhile, Nick turns on the tube. He's like, oh, man, we got Andrew Abbott. He's at 110 pitches. This guy's got to go. I mean, he's got to get out of here. Crack. Well, we got what we deserved.
Well, at least it wasn't on Twitter because I forgot I was too far behind to actually get it up. So
try to buy some time at the beginning of the show for my man Nick, because I can see he's working through some screens right now. He's pounding through whatever he's pounding through. I tried it and I throw it to him and he's like, yeah, you know what? These damn 6:40 start times, I'll tell you what. Tell you what, Negative Nick. Who knew in 2025 we were going to find ourselves in a situation where we have Negative Nick on our hands? But here we go. Reds won 1-0. They stranded some great opportunities tonight to score more too. You know, there is a stark difference between scoring one run in the past and what this team has looked like in the one run they scored tonight. They had multiple opportunities to get runs across. They're still doing some maybe what I would consider some boneheaded things that we'll probably get into a little bit. They had some unfortunate. The guy, don't know the center fielder's name, but the kid from Cleveland in center field made Nolan Jones made a great throw home to get McLean. You just tip your cap on a play like that. You move on. But this doesn't feel like the offense struggled tonight. It just was kind of a tough break here and there, and they found themselves in a spot where they weren't supposed to win this game, and they did. So they need a couple more of these, and then they're going to have to start playing some good baseball because the rest of the schedule, they have good teams. The weak schedule, if you want to call it that, is behind us. But as we know on this show, and I've seen it multiple times since we've started doing Chatterbox Reds, when you think you have an easy schedule or you think you have a great homestand and you can gain ground, it seems like the time that's when you go 500 or you lose. And then when you think you have this tough schedule, you got the Dodgers and maybe you got the Yankees coming up. I don't know. The Reds sweep those teams. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't try to make sense of it anymore. But this is what it's going to take to get us in a spot, Nick, where we have a chance. I mean, this is it. We're watching it. We just seen tonight exactly what it's going to take for this team to kind of crawl back in this thing when you thought they were dead.
Yeah, Reds are 18-19 against teams above 500, which is kind of wild to think about. But yeah, I think Gavin Lux have a near 2 RBI double that was fouled by like a foot. So yeah, I mean it's totally different.
3 inches.
Different game. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there but yeah, nice. It feels like the breaks are going the Reds' way right now that weren't going there, and yeah, it's exciting. The exciting thing for me, was coming into today. 3 of the last 4 wins for the Reds were comeback wins. I mean, I think that was really encouraging to see was that, they fell behind early or even midway through a couple of those games and were able to kind of fight their way back. And today, I'll be honest, it felt like a game you're winning 1-0 and you miss out on a few chances. Some you're doing, some bad luck, and they found a way.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There was a couple plays that happened in this game that I can guarantee you it was going to be on the top of that rundown. One of them, Fraley, just I don't know what happened. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because I don't want to feel like it's a negative show, and it's not going to be for me. But there was a play that happened down the line. Steer tags at second base. Fraley's at first base. The ball's right in front of Fraley. It's like literally up against the wall almost. You got 3 players converging on it. I don't know why Fraley wasn't tagging or at least bluffing to run, because the first baseman was out there trying to make the play. The second baseman was out there trying to make the play. Steer tags up, runs the third. You can at least see if they try to make a throw to third to get him out. And then the shortstop has to run over and cut the ball off, and literally no one's at second base. And it's like, Fraley, they're giving you second base. He doesn't take it. That leads to the next thing. I've always talked about the domino effect, Nick, and I know people get upset when I say this, but like that sets up the opportunity of first and third with TJ Friedel, and he decides, and I don't know if we want to go into all this yet, but I think he made that decision, Nick. I don't know how you feel about it. I just have a hard, fast opinion that TJ Friedel makes the decision that he wants to try to kind of do a safety squeeze type, bunt to first base. And this is the second time now where he's not executed that. And he's one of our better hitters, and it's kind of becoming a little tiresome to see a guy at third base with less than 2 outs and TJ Friedel not swing the bat. I'm sure maybe we'll discuss that later in the show. But you don't get a run there, and you strand him. And you just Elly's air in the 9th inning, or the 8th inning, excuse me. Was it 8th inning? 9th inning? It was 8th inning. 8th inning. Thankfully Abbott was capable of kind of working around that, but that was a big play in the game too that I'm sure will go relatively kind of untalked about. I'm not going to – Elly's internal clock needs to get better. That's what I would say, folks. I don't know how else to say it. Elly's internal clock needs to be better. He needs to know who's running down the line sometimes. He's got a guy that doesn't have quick feet. He's not getting down the line all that quick. He has time right there to probably set his feet and make a throw. If he's got a guy that can run a little bit, he's got to make the play that he tried to make, and I can kind of forgive him a little bit more. But it's fortunate, and I'm thankful that we don't have to talk about those things, Nick. There's better things to talk about than the mistakes they made, and Jake Fraley made up for it because he made an unbelievable diving catch in right field that would have been a leadoff triple, in my opinion, to start the inning off for the Guardians. So I guess you get one and you take one.
Yeah. I do have a box score recap. It's like the only thing I actually have. So
let's do that then. Box score recap.
Yeah, let's
presented by that. Nick Kirby.
All right. Andrew Abbott against Slade Ciccone, game 2 of 3 in Cleveland for the Reds. Both pitchers were dominant through the first 4 innings. Abbott was helped out on a great catch by TJ Friedel. Slade Ciccone was helped out on a great catch by Steven Kwan. No score going into the 5th. That's when Will Benson continued his destruction of his former team with a leadoff double. Then Spencer Steer singled him home to make it 1-0 Cincinnati. Jake Fraley made what might be the catch of the year for the Reds in the 7th inning when he robbed Jose Ramirez of extra bases on an unreal diving catch. The ball gets past Fraley. It's probably at least triple and maybe even had the potential for an inside the park home run. Reds, they missed out on some good opportunities late in the game. The Guardians made some additional good plays defensively, but Andrew Abbott threw a complete game shutout. 3-hitter, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott. It got a little dicey in the 9th. Abbott walked the leadoff batter, Steven Kwan, but then got David Fry to ground into a double play. Then he gave up a single to Jose Ramirez, and Carlos Santana gave a ball a ride that StatCast doesn't agree as much as I thought it felt. But nonetheless, it was a catch by Will Benson up against the wall. Reds win 1-0. Reds now 35-33 on the season. Your Cincinnati Reds have won 5 in a row.
We don't have a deep drive of the day, but we did score 1 run, and that's all that matters, thanks to DSC. And DSC, as we all know, they are a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. Spencer Steer, big hit, big hit, led to us scoring, the lone run that we were able to get across. So I'm sure we'll discuss that. But the main topic before we get to that is going to be Andrew Abbott. Super chats, though, before we do all that, because Rolf is out here just literally lighting the world on fire. Viewers are discussing the Reds baseball game and making observations, also discussing the performance of individual players. Thank you, YouTube. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that. Now get out of my way. AMA says, Abbott, greater than Greene? Say it out loud. LFG. Pump the brakes here. Pump the brakes, okay? I'm not going to do that one. Not going to do that one quite yet, but I do appreciate Andrew Abbott pretty much shoving more times than not. Jacob Doyle says, well, look who won a 1-0 game. It was the Red Legs. It was nice to see. I mean, I got to be honest. I didn't think I'd see it this year. Optimistic John says, love it. Abbott all the way said it and did it. Did he say that he was going to go complete game? Great for him. All-star. He's been good. AMA then chimes in and says, say it again. Go ahead.
He should be an all-star. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any debate about it. It would be a travesty. And the guy has a 1.87 ERA.
Yep. Hey, he's been the best pitcher for the Reds. AMA says, AA so good, De La error, couldn't lose this one. I mean, yeah, he made an error. I mean, he's made some untimely errors recently. Like I said before, I understand why people get frustrated with Elly in the narrative, because he's had some untimely errors when everyone gets excited. This guy needs to figure out when to make the errors. He needs to make them on getaway days, on Thursdays when there's 5,000 people watching. But he makes them when everybody's watching. RD711 says, in this complete game shutout belongs to who? It belongs to Andrew Abbott. It's who it belongs to. And it also belongs to the Reds because he plays for the Reds. Michael Rolfe. I mean, this is where he just goes on a tear. Says, Cleveland, I am your father. I guess that's supposed to be Andrew Abbott. Rolfe then chimes in and says, Andrew Abbott's greater than Nick Lodolo. He isn't made of glass. Now, let's be careful. Let's all pump the brakes. Chat, come on. We're not punching. We're not fighting our own people. You know what I'm saying? We can't say he's greater than somebody that's on another team. I mean, if you want to say he's better than Scooball.
His career.
Yeah, let's say he's better than Scooball. We can't. Come on. Let's chat. Let's rally around the troops right now. We can't keep picking on our own guys. Man, we won a 1-0 game, says Bryce. Abbott, all-star. Hashtag ATOBTTR. Yes. If you don't know, that means in this one belongs to the Reds. Flatrock79 says, we did what we deserved. We did get what we deserved. I can't read. A 1-0 win, finally. He's not wrong about that. He is not wrong about that. Ross Everett. Is that right? Everett. You say it real fast if you don't know how to say it. Ross Everett says, I think I saw the face of God in Andrew Abbott tonight. As certainly part of my body was watertight when that last ball left the bat. ATOBTTR. Yeah, Nick had us completely lost. There's no doubt in my mind. Nick was so mad. He was so damn mad when that camera operator went whoosh to the middle of those bleachers, and then he slowly panned down.
Well, I'm curious if I got a different angle too. Because remember, I was not watching the same broadcast you were.
It's fair. Well, the angle we see looked like it was a moon blast. Ricky said death taxes and me believing we're all the way back. Yeah, I mean we're close. Max Bryant says, see Abbott get hit in the back by the cooler. No, I did not see that. Did our own guys hurt him? I hope not. To all the viewers, Rolf chiming in with a bomb, by the way. To all the viewers, please hit the like button. Jacob T took off the bench from us today. Only kidding, Jacob. He did not. So let's support our superheroes, Trace and Nick. I am not a superhero, but I do appreciate everybody that watched off the bench. We're gonna reconvene, talk about it as a group, try to figure out what's best moving forward, and see if we can't make that show great. Donnie Miller says, Jake catch equals immaculate. Andrew Abbott's complete game equals true. Meduxian mastery. I don't know, Donnie. This is over my head. Am I even saying these things right? Ellie's air in the 8th equals a trip to my cardiologist 5 in a row. When are y'all coming to Chicago for that party, says the realtor named House. I don't know. And Ned Flanders, as we get to a show finally. And you guys, all of your support is very much appreciated. It's unbelievable. Nick, are you going tomorrow? Can you bunt? I picked a bad week to stop sniffing glue.
I am going tomorrow. Taking the 3 kids, so probably won't be dialed into the game, but Lord willing, I will be there tomorrow to hopefully see back-to-back sweeps.
I mean, what a day it would be if we could find a way to win. I know that you're not supposed to, but we did this. We've done this one other time. We did 12 in a row, and 12 in a row, every single time they won, it was like, okay, yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it. That's probably it. I don't know if I got the vibe of 12 in a row yet, but I'm starting to get to myself in a position where I can think this team can compete the rest of the year, and now it's a matter of can they stay healthy, and that's a question that nobody has the answer to, but it starts to make some of these decisions that probably, in my opinion, for the front office was going to be easy because there wasn't really a whole lot to play for. Now it becomes a little more difficult. Nick, yep. you have said time and time again, listen, man, I need this team to win 10 or 12 in a row, or I need them to lose 12 in a row. I can't be sitting around in the middle, and here we sit right there in the middle right this second. They're going to have to find something out here soon, what they want to do from the front office perspective, and I know damn well that half the town, if not more than half the town, is going to be screaming and yelling about how they need to go out and they need to sign somebody and they need to go sell, or not sell, they need to buy, and they got to help this team get over, get them into the postseason. Our fan base is starving. Let's be honest. That we are absolutely starving for any success. And a postseason appearance would feel like the Super Bowl. And by Super Bowl, call it the World Series if you want to make it a baseball analogy. I'm just saying, they're not going to have easy decisions. And I'm glad they don't, because it makes it seem like we have something worth watching.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a take here, just something I was kind of researching last night. And it's not really it'd be great if the Reds win tomorrow and make this 6 in a row. It'd be great if they make it 7, 8, 9. The thing I want to see is whenever this does end, is can they find a way to get back on track? Because the Reds have had 3 win streaks this year, and after that, they have completely floundered. So in late April, they won 5 in a row. Then they lost 11 of 13. In mid-May, they won 5 in a row and immediately lost 3 in a row. And actually, I missed one. In mid-April, they won 4 straight, then lost 5 of 7. So you get the point. They've had 3 stretches where they played really good baseball, 4 or 5 game win streaks, and then have completely floundered after. So for me, it's not about extending this win streak as long as you can. It's about, can the Reds have like a 15-5 stretch and over a 20-game stretch? Because I don't think they've done that unless maybe you perfectly – it hasn't felt like they've played that stretch really all year. And can this be the stretch that they do it? So it's not about the win streak for me. It's just, man, can they finally have that stretch where they play good baseball and they do kind of get really back in this race. But, yeah, I mean, look, your Padres lost to the Dodgers tonight away from being 3 games out of a playoff spot. So they're in that bad spot right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm happy they're in this spot, but this is not the spot you want to be at the trade deadline. Now, we still have 6 weeks till the trade deadline, so a lot can change. But I don't want to be 3 games back because people are going to be saying buy. That's not a spot to buy. It's probably a spot you should still probably sell, but I'm not going to hate on them for not selling. So I would really hope they can at least be even, at least be on the right side, at least have a 40% chance of making the playoffs and not be one of these 3 games back, 21% chance of making the playoffs, because that's not really a spot that I think you should be doing anything to hurt the future of your franchise.
Well, at this point, I'm not worried about it because I think that there's plenty of time to figure out whether or not this team is for real or they're not for real. We've seen what this team look like from a week-to-week basis, and one week it looks as if they are going to maybe win 70 games, maybe win 70 games, and then the next week now you can convince me they can get to 85. Now, whether 85 is good enough, I don't know. I mean, it might take 88, 89, 90 wins, and at that point, it's a different hill to climb. The only thing that you can maybe kind of get extremely excited about is that maybe the offense will pick up the pitching or the lack of starting pitching that will showcase itself maybe here in the future, just based off of kind of the hodgepodge situation that currently exists. I know that you weren't on the show yesterday with the Wade Miley situation. We can discuss that later in the show if you'd like. But Andrew Abbott has put himself now in a position where we didn't think, I guess, coming into this season that we would have a bona fide league-leading type of ace outside of Hunter Greene. And we thought we had some serviceable pitchers, yes. I thought we bragged more about the depth, which is funny, Nick. Isn't it funny how this whole thing always works itself out every single year? If anything, we were bragging about the depth of the starting pitching staff, but we weren't bragging about the front end talent of the starting pitching. And it turns out that really what we did have is we have some good looking front end talent, and the question now becomes the depth, whether or not we can find enough guys to stick in there on a nightly basis that will continue to produce. Whatever theory you think you have in the offseason and or perhaps at the beginning of spring training, you might as well just put it in reverse or flip it on its head, because that's probably what's going to come true. So Reds find themselves in a spot where Andrew Abbott, I mean, there's not much more you can ask out of him. He's probably going to drink, if I had to say, it's going to be a bad night to be a light beer flavor. No free ads. But my guess is that Andrew Abbott's adding directly to that really thin waistline that he currently has. But you know what? More importantly, he's adding to what is an all-star resume this season.
Yeah, no, I like the way you said that, because it felt like you had a rotation that was Hunter Greene, and then the rest of the rotation that was, better, like whatever you said, better than some of your parts. Whatever right. That is. But it's been Andrew Abbott, and I think Nick Lodolo, I think, also probably deserves to be kind of up there in that conversation. I think Nick Lodolo's been better than I think maybe the vibes around him are. But yeah, and Nick Martinez too, especially since his first couple starts. It's been like those guys right now are the top three, and it's kind of like, all right, well, what else can you get behind? What take whatever Brady Singer can give you, take whatever Wade Miley or whoever else is going to be there at the back end and can take you. But yeah, I mean, Andrew Abbott, I mean, increased his strikeouts by 2.5 per 9 inning, lowered his walks, and lowered his home runs. I mean, that's a pretty good recipe. There's not a single player in this organization that has changed my perspective on them more than Andrew Abbott from spring training till now. And it's not because he's having success. It's because he's doing things differently. He's striking out more batters. But he's also, still like, a lot of times when you try to take that leap to try to miss more bats, you start walking more guys.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're overthrowing a little bit and you give up more home runs. Well, he's not doing any of that. So we'll see. I think Abbott will have a rough patch, but this one was really encouraging because it was coming off his worst start of the year by a mile. And for him to come back out and do this tonight was great. I'm separating that from the decision to keep him in the ninth, which I do want to talk about in a second, because I want to make sure that Andrew Abbott gets all the credit he deserves for this performance tonight.
I think the decision was made off of respect. And I think it's a fun thing to keep on the back half. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Because I think it actually goes into the whole argument as to why you would like Tito Francona. And I would say maybe what he has, his most valuable trait that he possesses is what he showcased tonight, where it also almost backfired. But before we do that, as always, Michael Roth, I don't know how I missed this. For some reason, it wasn't in the rundown, but thank you to all the people in the chat who called it out. And shout out to YouTube for letting me kind of click on the comment that you called out. He says, when do I get to come on the show again? Call in line, ATOBTTR. When can you come on the show again? I think like Sunday nights, more of like an artistic night, the night where, we can kind of go through the art gallery and discuss perhaps what kind of paintings you've come across in the recent days. I'll also wear I'll also get the chili shirt. We'll wear that. So we'll make it a whole full occasion. So Sunday night baseball, I think, is the appropriate time. Flat Rock says Nick rocks, especially the hat, with some baseball emojis. So shout out to Flat Rock, and shout out to you, Nick, because you rock. 988 it's such a big part of the show now. It's in the chat at all times, it seems like. But I just want to say thank you to the folks that not only kind of make this a part of the show, but also realize that it's a resourceful place that you can turn to if you're ever in need. Text and or call 988 day or night, mantherapy.org. Also a place to visit. It's okay to not be okay. All right. Back half. I don't think I have any more super chats, Nick. So realistically speaking, we should be clear. But on a night like tonight, it seems like I've had a hard time keeping up. So let me make sure I'm not wrong. We have more super chats by Rolf. I mean, Rolf, your wife is going to wake up tomorrow and she's going to see all these damn bills from, I don't know who it comes from. Maybe it comes from YouTube or Apple or whatever. And she's going to think that your account got hacked. C-Box Sports got exactly what we all needed with the Abbott greater than Lodolo comment. A perfect Nick Kirby eye roll. You missed my first SC. When do I get to come on the show again and raise Nick's blood pressure? See, I just got that SC, so I missed it. I did miss that Super Chats Sunday. Pete, now here's the thing. I don't know if this is your real name or not, but I must say I'm going to read it as if it is, but I'm going to have discretionary advice I'm going to have discretionary decisions to make if I see some Super Chats that might be trying to get me. But here it goes, nothing. Pete Hose says, Andrew Abbott's beer belly, bad mustache, great clips haircut, and can toss a baseball. Reminds me of a rich man's David Wells. It kind of is, isn't he?
A rich man's David Wells.
Yeah, not a poor man's David Wells, because David Wells was it's hard to be a poor man's David Wells. In fact, I think that the poor man David Wells were, in fact, quite literally poor. And my guess is they sat right outside of Yankee Stadium. But in regards to the Great Clips haircut, since we have so many people in here, I tell you, I decided not to tweet it because I didn't want to get too toxic last week. But boy, when we had Connor Joe and Garrett Hampson out there in the outfield, I almost unleashed the Bo Rick Nick. All right, I almost lead. It's the quite literal opposite version of get crawled. It's Bo Rick's Nick. Because if there's anybody in this organization that has a bad haircut, it's Nick Crawl. Maybe second in line could be Andrew Abbott. We'll discuss that more. But I don't really care what people's hair looks like as long as they do their job well. To be clear,
I gotta say this just because I'm looking it up because this is how my sick brain works.
Yes.
David Wells finished third in the Cy Young voting with a ERA over 4. I mean, I know that was steroid era, but holy smokes!
I don't know.
Sorry, I couldn't just keep
ERA over 4.
I probably should.
ERA over 4, and he was what?
Third in the Cy Young. He was a Cy Young finalist. Now he was 20-8. So I'm sure back, then that was viewed a little bit more with a little bit more reverence than it would now. But led Major League Baseball in hits allowed and finished third in the Cy Young voting.
I don't know.
Living good.
I can't keep up. I don't know why David Wells was third in Cy Young. Maybe he was admirable. Maybe they liked him. Maybe he looks like a regular guy. Kind of had the John Daly effect, perhaps. I don't know. You have catch of the year on here before we get into maybe the decision that was made by Tito. Listen, Jake Fraley made an unbelievable play, and I think that more times than not, if this play was made, in the ninth inning, like TJ Friedel's play was made, it would get all the headlines, and it would be the poster picture on all of the social graphics for basically Major League Baseball, and it'd be the picture for the Reds and all these things. And I'm not saying that it didn't get its due, but it was the biggest play of the game. You could argue. I mean, I know that you could say that the hit by Steer, et cetera, but that was the biggest play of the game for the Reds, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just pulled it back up because I was curious where Friedel was. Friedel was shaded a little bit to left field. You could barely see him if you paused it the right second, because the camera didn't have a good angle of where they were positioned. But man, I don't know if he misses that and that ball takes a long bounce. Jose Ramirez is fast. I mean, he legitimately could have had an inside the park home run on that. So not only was it a great catch, it was also kind of ballsy by Jake Fraley too, to really go for it. Because it was set up that if he misses that, I mean, Ramirez is at least on third base, and there was no outs. So, maybe they don't send him anyways, just because he would have been third base with no outs. But, I mean, it's probably a totally different game if Fraley doesn't make that catch. It's not the catch of the year, because the catch of the year was that guy on the A's the other night. I mean, there's been some great defense in baseball this year. I swear every time I open up Twitter, there's just someone making an incredible catch. I don't know, maybe it's just that kind of year, but it feels like there's been the spectacular plays have been overabundant this year.
No doubt. The Reds got good defense all night long. Elly's play in the eighth inning there probably spoiled it a little bit, maybe left a little sour taste in the mouth. But I felt like the Reds made some really good plays. Spencer Steer made another really good play at first base that kind of goes unnoticed, because he just makes the play and you move on. They were able to strand some runners early in the game. Will Benson's made some good plays in left field. It was an overall very clean baseball game the Reds played. They found a way to win 1-0. You don't win 1-0 if you play bad baseball. You can win 9-7. Maybe you find out a way to scratch out a 5-4 win and you play bad baseball. It's almost impossible to win 1-0 and play bad baseball. So nice to see. You move on, gives you a chance to win again tomorrow and keep the streak alive. But if nothing else, Nick, this is what it takes for this team to find a way to get us in a spot where they can make the postseason. It's going to take something that you can't really project or fathom being possible. And I know that sounds like I'm saying that we're basically wishing upon a shooting star. I don't mean it like that. I more or less just mean that we might be in the midst of watching something when we look back at the end of the year and saying that was a stretch of baseball that gave this team the chance for us to watch them play in October. I hope that's the case, but that's currently where we sit and where we stand. We got to take advantage while we're hot and the Guardians are not.
Yeah. This has been a season where I don't really know how we got to this point.
CES came up. I'll tell you how. Will Benson came up and got extremely hot for 4 or 5 days, and he helped them win 4 or 5 games in a row. And CES came up here, and he gave them a much needed boost, and they got hot 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it was, 2 or 3 games in a row, and then they found a way to scratch out a couple more wins. And you look up and you're like, well, that's 8 or 9 wins that they didn't have because they weren't healthy. I mean, and I mean, if Hayes comes back or Candelario comes back, and I'm going to still hold out hope that McLean figures it out. He's still kind of just not there yet. It really starts to make you believe. Like, if you think that those guys are going to come back and provide some value, it doesn't take much for you to convince yourself that this is actually a pretty decent team. Good team, I won't go there, but a decent team.
I liked your Candelario take last night. I like that. I think I might be with you.
Yeah, I just feel like he's going to have a kind of a new lease on life in a way. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of pressure on him when he comes back because people are already expecting him to be bad in a weird way. Even though he's making a ton of money, even though all the pressure and all the people at the beginning of the season was like, he's going to have to be our power bat, I don't think the people are going to look at him like that at all. He could hit 7th, Nick, in my opinion, and people are going to be like, all right, that's fine. Then just the expectations are going to be low. And I kind of seen this play out before so many times in my sporting life where guys don't have a lot of expectations and you don't put a lot of pressure on them, and next thing you know, they pop off. And I hope I'm right. And I'm sure if I'm wrong, people will let me know. I don't have a valid maybe example to showcase why that is. It just seems like it's time for him to come up here and do something, and I think it's now.
And I think you can work him in a little bit easier too than I think maybe it's made out to be, because like tonight, for example, there was no one on the bench that I wanted in the lineup, right? I mean, the bench was Espinal, Hampson, Joe, Trevino. So, I mean, it's okay if you have to sit one of these guys down the bench, and maybe you just do like a rotation of we're gonna, we'll play a Candelario 4 or 5 times a week, and we'll give obviously against left-handed pitching, it's gonna be very easy to find a way to get him in there. Yeah. But against right-handed pitching, we'll maybe give Benson a day off here. We'll give Fraley a day off here. We'll give Steer a day off here. And you can kind of work him in there, and your bench is going to be a lot better. And one thing we don't do enough of is we always are bound to the splits. And I'm bound to the splits as much as anyone. But there are a lot more numbers than just how does this guy hit against right-handed pitching and how does this guy hit against left-handed pitching. I mean, these teams have exact formulas on this pitcher's pitch mix, this batter will do better, and you just got to trust the data, I think, on that, and you can mix and match. But I like Candelario coming back when the offense is playing well and getting put in, like you said, where there's no pressure, where he's just kind of sitting down there. And you know what? When some of these guys cool off, Candelario is very capable of getting hot. We've seen him get hot.
Yeah, for this franchise, he was unbelievably good for a month. And unfortunately, he's played, he's been contracted to play for more than a month here, which is probably why none of us like him. When I say none of us like him, I should say that we're not big fans of the fact that he hasn't played well for this team. But he did carry this offense for a month. Can he do it again? We'll find out. All right, Tito made a decision in this baseball game that many people probably are going to question, especially if that ball goes over the fence. If that ball goes over the fence, Tito is getting absolutely crushed. And I made the argument, Nick, that I really wasn't so much worried about the pitch count. I think sometimes the pitch count can get a little overblown when we're talking about just the difference between 105 and 111 per se. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm not here to say that 80 pitches is the same as 105, but you're trying to make that decision as you go into the 9th inning. Clearly, you want to give him an opportunity to close the game out, finish the complete game. He walks the first guy. Nick, it feels gross. You're getting to a spot where it looks like he's going to walk the second guy, and you're like, why are we doing this? I openly said, Nick, out loud that I was okay with mid-at-bat. I think it was against Thomas. Mid-at-bat, just take him out. I mean, he looks like he doesn't have it. He's laboring. The pitches that he is throwing for a strike, they don't look like there's much command there. The balls are middle. And they leave him in. He gets a big double play. Didn't even bring the double play up when we talked about the great defense, but that was a massive double play. So then it's almost like he got a new lease on life, right? You're like, oh, well, even though it hasn't looked good, let's just keep this going because we would like to give him a chance to have a complete game. And I got to tell you, Nick, it just didn't seem like he was throwing the ball very well. But Tito decided to leave him in. You weren't very happy about it, but it did work out. Your thoughts on the situation as a whole?
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. It's funny though how these things happen. Like so TJ Friedl, earlier in the game, you talked about earlier about how he He tries to lay down that bunt. No one complains if that bunt gets down. Not a soul. No one complains about it. But because it didn't work, we're prisoners of the result.
Yes.
And because Andrew Abbott worked, people are going to be prisoners of the result. I'm sorry. I'm concerned about Andrew Abbott's durability. And clearly he's a huge part of this team. And I don't know. I mean, the numbers don't lie over his career. He's gotten significantly worse as the years gone on. Just in some ways felt unnecessary. So I'm more concerned about pushing him that deep, given his history. This isn't a guy that you're pushing that's kind of established himself. And I know people are going to completely disagree with this and say, you're one of baby guys. I just want him to stay healthy. I don't want a repeat of August and September of Andrew Abbott of 2023 and 2024. Because, man, he's been incredible, and the Reds desperately need him right now. That's my biggest concern.
I can't point to a direct kind of time in this game where if they would have taken him out, your overall concern would have been satisfied or would have been kind of overblown. I guess what I'm getting at is, whether you decide to take him out in the 8th inning this game or the 9th inning or in the 7th inning, I think that's a cumulative effect time and time again of him going out and throwing 100, 105, 105, 105, 110, 112 pitches in a row. I just don't – tonight it felt like, Nick, there are times where you have to try to ride the momentum, so I'm going to give Tito some credit, or I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, if you want to call it that, because I don't know if September matters at all if this team doesn't play well for the next week and a half and ride this hot wave, if you want to call it that right now. They have to start believing themselves, is what I'm getting at. And this was a monumental game because you find a way to win this game and you win the series, and more importantly, you extend an opportunity to feel like you're red hot. And they could have brought in Pagan. They maybe could have brought in, I don't know who they would have went to tonight. I don't know if Santiano would have been available, but you get my point. Maybe they would have closed the door down and it all worked out. But this is where Tito does actually, I think, have the non-analytical or the clubhouse impact that everybody probably talks about around baseball. He does give his guys a chance, and I think that there's some respect that is gained from that. Now, if you want to argue whether or not that respect or the camaraderie or the clubhouse vibes actually even matters at all, that's a fair debate. That's a fair debate, because I've always thought, you know what, you could have 26 guys that absolutely hate each other, that every day they walk in, nobody talks to each other. But, man, if they're the best damn baseball players in the world, it really isn't going to matter what the clubhouse vibe is. And you could get 26 of the best friends in the world, and it could be a pizza party every time you walk in. But if they're not very good at baseball, it doesn't matter. They're not going to win many games. But this is Tito's MO, is to give guys a chance to do something that they feel like they've earned the right to do. And it did feel like, I must say, Andrew Abbott earned the right to win and or lose that game based off the way that he had pitched, and Tito gave him a chance. And damn it, he almost lost it, to be fair. I mean, he was throwing middle fastballs, middle changeups, what was basically the back end of that 9th inning. It didn't take much more, we're talking about a centimeter difference between that ball probably being a home run tonight. Instead, it was a fly out to left field, and we're having a completely different conversation. I completely get it. Everyone's a prisoner of the result. That's 100% true. But I just want to point out that is maybe one of the assets that Tito does have, if the analytics or if the game circumstance with the analytics doesn't get in the way, which it has this year. I will tell you, it has already this year. But it didn't tonight. So I'm just going to openly say it worked out. I'm going to plead the fifth on all of it in a way.
Well, I'm looking back at the pitches, and it's actually kind of funny how it played out. Because the first 2 pitches that he threw to Jose Ramirez, that Ramirez swung through, were right down the pipe. One was a sweeper, one was a fastball. Could not have been thrown any more middle than it was, and he missed it. And then Ramirez hits a changeup that was a borderline strike for a single. And then the pitch that Santana almost hit a home run on was a ball. It wasn't even a strike. So sometimes it's just baseball too. And that's where this game, man, it's the margin between winning and losing is so minute. And you got to just enjoy games like tonight. And, the next time it doesn't go your way, try not to be so down because, I don't know, baseball's a stupid game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the double play, fly ball double play that the Guardians were able to do, massive double play. The double play that Andrew Abbott got in the ninth inning, a massive double play. But I would also say if you go back and look, Gavin Lux had an opportunity in this baseball game to get an insurance run in, and he wasn't capable of doing it. And he had a couple middle fastballs or very, very hittable pitches that he swung through, and then he ended up getting struck out on a unbelievably good changeup, yes, but he already had missed the pitches he had to find a way to put in play earlier in the at-bat. And then I think maybe it was CES wasn't capable of getting him in either. So the Reds had chances to make it to where Tito's decision in the ninth wouldn't have been a big decision. And more times than not, let's face it, the players are the ones that win and lose games. I still will say that time and time again. Manager, how much impact they have, we'll see. I'm not totally sure. A lot of the same issues or a lot of the same things that many of this fan base gets pissed off about also were the same things that happened last year. But I'll tell you, they're two games over 500 now. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, 2 games over 500.
I got to tell you, Nick, the fact that this baseball team's 2 games over 500 and I feel the way that I feel about them makes me think that they might be better than what I've given them credit for. Because I got to tell you, in 2023, when the Reds got to 2 games over 500, I thought we looked like a World Series team. That's how good we looked. This team's 2 games over 500, and there are times where I'm thinking that they might not be able to go and win the OHSAA state playoffs. But I digress.
Also worth noting, and I know Tito's said this before, and I agree it does matter. Abbott, there is 2 off days before Abbott's next start, so he's going to have a significant amount of rest. So there's a good chance that actually played into it. Now, the flip side of that is you could have used one of those off days and not pitched Wade Miley on Sunday in Detroit. So, I mean, I think Abbott going 110 pitches, clearly I would say they're going to throw Wade Miley on Sunday. I'm sure that, but I'm guessing that was part of the thought process as well. Which I can buy that. I'll buy that part of it, having 2 extra off days for Abbott. If you're going to throw Wade Miley, which I don't agree with that, but
yeah, if you're
going to pitch Wade Miley, then yeah, I mean there is 2 off days, so that does kind of help ease a little bit of this. But I mean, fatigue's a real thing. I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, it's a real thing. Abbott has been fatigued, and this team, Abbott is up there. I mean, I would say he's the most important player on this team, but he's clearly in the top 5 right now for me.
Well, he's definitely top 5. I mean, this is a spot where I'm going to go ahead and just say I let's move on in the show. The more and more this team wins and the more and more we run out Wade Miley, the more and more I am going to become so increasingly infuriated that I can't believe this is where we're at. I take your point well, and I think that you make an excellent point. And maybe I'm the one that's just not too I'm not forward thinking enough to consider the fact that you're going to ruin Andrew Abbott by letting him go out and pitch again, even though he just threw 110 pitches or 110 plus, and you have options to be able to use an off day to give him even more rest. But I got to tell you, when I'm forced with the decision of throwing Wade Miley, it makes me think whatever I got to do to avoid that. I know it sounds like a joke, but I'm being serious. Whatever I got to do to avoid Wade Miley being my starting pitcher, in a way, sign me up. And I know people are like, you want Chase Petty? kind of do, yeah. I mean, I kind of do, because I personally feel like I see the writing on the wall, and I'm willing to take as much hate mail as I can get if Wade Miley throws the ball incredibly well 1 or 2 more times. I'm telling you right now, I will take all of the hate. But I just think that he is one of, if not the bottom feeders of this organization right now to take the ball. I mean, I could think of, I'd take Lyon Richardson to take the ball over him. I take literally almost anybody. And I know that sounds maybe unfair to Wade Miley, but I just see what's coming. I feel like I see what's coming. He walked too many guys the other day. He gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. He got hit relatively hard. It's not, he gave up basically, you know, he was the town bike in the minor leagues. You know, everybody got a chance to ride. I don't know. It just,
Town bike.
yeah, he was the town bike, you know.
Let me ask you this. Why couldn't Brent Suter try to give you 5 innings?
I'm okay with that too.
I mean, if you're not going to call up Chase Burns, is Brent Suter that worse of an option? No. I mean, every time the guy's been a starter, it's worked. The guy has had a solid ERA for 7 straight years? I'm not sure I want Brent Suter starting the next 3 months consecutively, but if he's trying to buy me till ever I feel comfortable to call up Chase Burns or whatever else,
right?
I think he's a better option than Wade Miley.
Yeah, and listen, people are like, it's 1 start. I see in the chat, it's 1 start. It's 1 start. It was already 1 start. We did the 1 start. I was okay. Listen, I didn't complain a whole lot for the 1 start, but now it's going to be 2 starts, and some are saying it might be 3. No, I can't do it. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to complain about it because this is the last time I'm going to say much about it, but don't come crying home to me when we give up 12 runs in 3 innings because we're throwing a guy that doesn't have it anymore, and he clearly doesn't have it, in my humble opinion. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to say so much nasty stuff about it that maybe it'll reverse in the opposite direction, and people will be throwing tomatoes at me because I was wrong about Wade Miley. I hope I am wrong. And this has nothing to do with Wade personally. I think that he's had an unbelievably good career. He's been a good pitcher. It's just at some point you aren't a big league pitcher anymore, and I don't like the idea that the baseball team that I love, that I'm in the middle of a unbelievable run that they're on right now. I don't love the idea of that being the option that we're going to put out there on a regular basis when we're trying to make up ground that we've already dug a hole in. It just seems like a bad recipe. And I hope I'm wrong, but that's the last of it.
Loyal listener, my guy Michael W. Shout out to him. Got me sweet tickets to the game.
Oh, you were in the sweet tickets tomorrow?
No, last night.
Last night you were in the suite last night.
But shout out to him. He relayed a point to me. He said Wade Miley. This is a really good take. He said Wade Miley right now feels like Bronson Arroyo in 2017 when they were trucking this guy out. Clearly his career was over. I was like, that is a perfect comp. But the difference was in 2017, the Reds weren't even considering trying to win baseball games that year. Whereas right now, I mean, they're, whether you like it or not, they're right in the middle of a playoff race.
It seems like it seems like Andy Dalton with the Carolina Panthers. It seems like maybe Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like we're trying something that clearly is not really working anymore. But we'll find out. We'll find out. They get to play more, and boy, do we love ourselves a wily veteran around here. Do we like a crafty type of guy? We like guys that have good situational hitting, and we like guys that are probably going to go out there and provide us some good situational pitching. I can't wait to hear the endless lines about how he just does a masterful job of speeding guys up and slowing them down and moving the ball up and moving the ball down, changing guys' eye levels, all the cliche terms you'll ever hear on a broadcast.
Detroit Tigers are 4th in Major League Baseball in OPS against left-handed pitchers.
All right, well, let's not worry about it, okay? Let's just move on. Reds won tonight. There is Reds MiLB. Let's do that because I'm not going to sit here and worry about the Tigers. facing Wade Miley.
All right, our Reds MiLB is abbreviated because this game was over.
Yeah, I get it. 6:40 start time. Whang, whang, whang. I get it. I completely understand.
I got all the DSL. I got all the DSL numbers for you. Don't worry about that. I figured you might. Louisville, they are winning 7-5 over Iowa in the top of the 8th. Chattanooga, they are trailing 9-8. They actually got 2 runners on base. We got like a little thrilling action here in Chattanooga. Nope, the other team's up. Never mind. They need to come back. They still got the bottom half. Daytona, they lost 2-1 to St. Lucie. Dayton, oh man, they were up like 2-0 in the 9th, and they lost 3-2. That team's struggling. I'm gonna see Dayton on Friday, so looking forward to that. ACL Reds just got underway. They're trailing 3-1 to the ACL Giants. Our friends down in the Dominican Summer League, though, they already played today. Adolfo Sanchez had a good day on base twice, double and a walk. He is off to a great start. 448 on base percentage through his first 7 games. He's the Reds' number 22 ranked prospect, top prospect out in the DSL. And Libert's Aponte, this was the Reds' top signing this past offseason. He stole home today. And both teams won. DSL Rojos beat the DSL Orioles Black 13-4, and the DSL Reds beat the DSL Dodgers Mega 6-3. Got to be one of the best names. The Dodgers Mega.
Sounds like some 13U baseball tournament when you go into these DSL names. I got to tell you. What was that kid? Throw that graphic back up there real fast. What was that kid that went 2 for 3? What's his name?
Jervin Moriallo.
All right. That's how I would have said it.
Catching prospect, guy the Reds are really high on. He had a great year last year.
Okay.
Really kind of broke out. All these guys are like 17 or 18 years old.
I was gonna say, what was he? Did he have a good year in 8th grade baseball or what? I mean,
Elly came from here. It matters.
I'm just kidding. I'm having fun. All right, couple supers before we. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Who, what, when, where, and why, and then we'll do the supers and we'll hit the road. We do have some more baseball to be played, and boy, oh boy, what a huge opportunity there is tomorrow.
Yep, it'll be a 1:10 start time. Nick Lodolo up against the lefty Logan Allen. Lodolo, got the wrong one here. Buy me a second here, Trace.
Yeah, JB's asking, is Cam Collier back? Cam Collier is back. He is back. He is. I think he just got optioned to Dayton. My guess is he will play in Dayton for a short stint, and then he'll go to.
There was someone I saw casually. I think he got promoted, of course, right before I was about to see him. Okay. Shout out to that. But all right, so we got but Collier just got started off to a great start this year, but hasn't really done a whole lot. All right, Lodolo, 2 career starts, his last 2 starts, 2.25 ERA. Pitched pretty well. 2 tough games, too, against the Cubs and the Diamondbacks, 2 of the better lineups in baseball. Lodolo's only made 2 career starts in Cleveland, both at Great American Ballparks. This will be his Progressive Field debut. And then the active Guardians are 10 for 20. Jose Ramirez is 4 for 5 with a homer. Kwan 2 for 6. Santana 2 for 3. For the Guardians, it's the lefty Logan Allen. Comes in 3-4 with a 4.42 ERA. Allen had been in the Guardians rotation all year, was moved to the bullpen after a start on May 25th, made 1 relief appearance, and then returned to the Guardians rotation last time out. And last time out against the Astros, 6 innings, 4 runs. Got off to a great start this year, but last 8 games, 7 starts, 5.58 ERA. Relies on 5 pitches, a 4-seamer, sweeper, changeup, cutter, and sinker. Fastball averages just 90.5 miles per hour. 3 career games against the Reds, only 1 of them starts, a 9 even ERA. Only career start was actually all the way back in 2021. Active Reds are 7 for 22. Elly De La Cruz 1 for 3. CES Stevenson and Trevino 1 for 2. And Trace, I got to take this off so I can see your face. The guy with the most success against Logan Allen is Garrett Hampson, who is 3-for-6. Does Hampson crack the lineup tomorrow?
3-for-6. Where was this in high A?
No, these are all MLB stats.
Oh, we're using MLB stats. I didn't know.
All MLB.
I don't know if he's going to crack a lineup tomorrow. If he does, God bless him. I hope he plays well for the Cincinnati Reds. In fact, I will tell you, Nick, Garrett Hampson had a humongous double the other day, and we weren't capable. We didn't capitalize on it, of course. But I don't want that big double that he had to be completely forgotten. One thing I did want to add, I just appreciate everybody's support of this show. Very much appreciative. And thank you to all the likes. The super chats tonight is absurd. I mean, just an absurd amount of super chats. Thank you to everybody that's super chatted. Rolf does chime in. He says, who's the better third baseman, CES or Marte? I don't know that answer yet. Really, I'll tell you who the best third baseman is. And I know it's unfair right now for both of them in their career. In my opinion, it's whoever the hell can play, whoever can stay healthy. I mean, at this point, I feel like that's the most undervalued trait that we never talk about on this show and also talk about for prospects in general is the ones that can stay on the field. As much as Elly gets hate or as much as people want to get on Elly, that damn dude is there every day, man. He's there every day. And that's valuable, incredibly valuable. A lot of these guys, Marte, CES, McLean, TJ Friedel at times, Tyler Stephenson, almost our whole damn team, Jake Fraley. It's sadly almost our whole team has been injury prone. And I know that's a really nasty label to put on a player is that they're injury prone or they're made of glass, blah, blah, blah. But that's how they've been. And the only thing that stopped this team from probably playing consistently is the health. So that's who's better. Whoever can stay healthy, because they both look the part at times.
Trace, we got to go back. I saw this because I checked the chat.
I was gonna say, hey, do you want to throw some slides up? I know where you're going. You read the chat.
Austin wins of Chatterbox Reds. Craig Sandlin.
Austin wins. No, you can't do that. You can't say he's Austin wins. I mean, that dude got DFA'd. He got let go, Nick. Come on.
He's in the lineup. He's in the lineup today for the A's.
Well, he should be.
He's hitting
600 this year.
I'm sure he has 4 home runs today.
Probably does. Go ahead.
I can check that real quick. That's a late start. I have to check. You know how my brain works. 0-for-1 struck out in his first at bat with the.
It was a long flight, Nick. Give him a break. I mean, damn. Have you ever flown from one coast to the next? Ask Will Benson how that feels when you got to fly from the East Coast to the West Coast and try to hit a baseball. He couldn't hit it to save his life.
All right, here's what we got. Jacob Hurtubise. How about this? 3 doubles?
3 doubles.
Are you kidding me?
Tell you what.
Wow. Some are saying Hurtubise is back. Candelario 1 for 5, but a 3 RBI evening. How about that? Chattanooga down 9-8. Looks like South Stewart having a good day. He's kind of been scuffling a little bit, so that's good to see. 2 for 4 with a double. Hector Rodriguez had also been struggling. 2 for 4. Austin Hendrick, man. He's hot, Trace.
He's hot. He's hot, man.
Just bring him to the show now. What are we waiting for?
Tell you what, I thought Chase Burns was hot. Check out Austin Hendrick.
Good stuff here. Leo Balcazar, 2 hits. He had been struggling. Carlos Jorge, 1 for 4. And then Daytona. Man, my mouse is just like not cutting it. Sammy Stafora, 1 for 4 with a triple. Looks like our highlight down in Daytona. Shout out to you, Craig Sandlin.
Yeah.
That's big league. I got to find a way.
I'm sorry he called you Austin Wins. That was disrespectful.
No, someone in the chat called him Austin Wins.
They did.
How are you?
Now you're throwing guys.
Of all people,
right.
to think that Austin Wins is not a positive.
I just know what happened to the man. I know what happened to the guy. I know what happened to him. That
I thought
feels
you would appreciate that.
Well,
I thought that would be a term of reverence for our friend Craig Sandlin. That's how I meant it.
Are you suggesting that he's so good at his job that he probably should get some more opportunities to do his job? Because he's
Well,
maybe,
no,
he's,
we had to ship him out to Oakland because he was better than me, and I would get replaced.
I was gonna say he might even be better than the guys that are on the show. That's what
you're
saying with Austin
I have to
Wentz?
get rid of him, or I'm toast.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you come in and you tell him.
Although he'll be back tomorrow. So
yeah. All right. Super chats. Let's get to the final ones, and then let's send it out of here with a bang. Yeah, the secondary camera. We'll do the overhead camera for the dunk again. But I just got to tell you, super chats. Michael Rolfe says we are 2 days away from the 2-year anniversary of the Ricky Karcher experience. That almost feels like it's a ride at Kings Island, right? Like this is the Ricky Karcher experience. Buckle up, son. Nick and Trace, come up with a fun raffle/chat competition idea. I'll send the winner of Ricky Karcher jersey. Now we got to come up with a chat competition.
Oh, we got to find.
We're 2 days away. We're 2 days away.
No, comments on our channel. Let's get our bang for the buck out of this too.
Well, there's no doubt. I was going to say comments on the channel, and then also if you're listening to it in podcast form, jump on to the YouTube comments so you can at least put your guess in. I would. It's got to be something that you can't look up, so it's got to be a future score, right? It's got to be something that you can't just be like, how many games did Ricky Karcher, how many innings did he throw for the Reds? So it's got to be something.
So you want me to put a trivia question? Yeah, but the problem is I got to do something that's not Googleable, right?
Chat.
I don't know what
is he listening to me? Are you listening to what I just said? I said it's got to be something that's future forward. To where you can't look. Okay. You can't just.
My brain's fried, brother.
You can't just find it out. Yeah, I can tell, man. You've been living I tell you what, we need to do. We need to get Austin Wins or Craig Sandlin up to your place to do a little babysitting, so you can do what I did, which is sit on the couch, eat some ice cream bars, drink some soda that you typically might not be doing, and then what else could you do? I don't remember what else I did, but I was enjoying my life watching a 1-0 baseball game.
All right.
I say
do something with the exit velocity or something.
Or I was going to say how many strikeouts the bullpen will get on Ricky Karcher Day. What do you think about that?
That feels like there's like
only so many pitches.
You're going to have 50 people tied for that one.
All right, yeah, that's a good point.
It's got to be something a little more.
That's
obscure.
why your brain being on the show helps too. Yeah, because someone's going to guess 3 and someone's going to guess 2, and then there's going to be like 50 people that guess 3 and 2, and we're going to have a problem.
Well, here's my idea, and this is just I'm brainstorming here.
Yes.
The top exit velocity from the Reds tomorrow on any hit ball closest wins.
Is tomorrow Ricky Karcher Day? We got to do it on Ricky Karcher Day.
Oh, when is Ricky Karcher Day?
I think it's 2 days away. But my point,
I should be able to find this up. He's only pitched in, but they don't play on Thursday.
Ah, damn. Are we going to be able to get enough comments? Let's do it for tomorrow's game then.
Tomorrow's game, the Reds exit velocity in chat. It can't be in the chat. Chat does not count because we can't go back and see this all. It's very hard for us to track. Yeah. So it's got to be in the comments. So after the show ends, you have to go into the comments and put what you think the top exit velocity will be. Yes. Should we do a tiebreaker? Should we do a second thing as a tiebreaker just in case?
You think someone's going to get the decimal point, multiple decimal points?
It's possible. It's possible.
I think you guess the score. Closest one to the score wins. We'll do total runs and whoever wins the game.
There's no way we'll have 2 ties, but yeah, yes. You have to also do the score of the game
as a tiebreaker. Yes.
Top exit velocity from a Reds player, any Reds player, the top of the game,
all right,
and the score prediction. The score prediction is only a tiebreaker.
So the comment is going to look like 107.5, and Reds win.
I'll put it up
5-1.
Yeah. I'll put it up here.
We'll put it in the comments. How about I say we put it in the comments.
5, Reds 15, Guardians, nothing.
All right. Let's finish out these super chats.
Should look like.
Nice. I like that. Great score, by the way. Fantastic score. Flat Rock says, when Friedel hits the center field wall, I think Eric Davis. There you go. I don't think Eric Davis because I've never seen him play, but I've heard he's great. Trust me.
The only Eric Davis I got to see was not the
not that kind of
Eric Davis that people raved about. I saw the Reds Matt Kemp version of Eric Davis.
Right, fair enough. Connor Joe wouldn't have made the catch Benson made. That was truly fantastic. Shame they would. Shame they'll bench Benson at the first sign of struggle. But hey, I don't know yet. I actually don't know about that yet. I think Benson's starting to earn some real, some true keep. I really do believe that. I hope I'm right. We'll see. I'm starting to think that he's got a chance to. In fact, I mean, he kind of did struggle a little bit. They continue to give him opportunities. He had an unfortunate error in left field, if you don't remember, a week ago. Still got more opportunity. I think he's showcased his athleticism. It's hard not to watch the baseball game and think that Will Benson doesn't give you, some good traits.
He's drawn quite a few walks the last few games.
Yeah, he's done fine. He's played well. I think he's earned some opportunities. If Hayes is activated, DF Joe or Hampson, option who, I think you probably DFA Hampson, in my opinion. He's basically Bubba Thompson, in my view. Connor Joe is not much different. I don't really care.
I think you could do a twofer. I think you could activate Candelario and call up Hayes and just get rid of both of them.
Yeah,
and then you don't. Joe is optionable, so Joe can go down to AAA. I don't think he has the ability to deny it either, like Austin Wynns had. I think that they are able to option him because they traded for him. It wasn't you signed a guy to him. They actually traded a player, Andrew Moore, for him. So I believe they have the ability to option him. Hampson, if someone wants to claim him, more power to you. But I have a feeling we'll be seeing him in Louisville too.
All right, we got some people defending Craig Sandlin now. Breaking news: Craig Sandlin, the Hammer, now in a contract dispute with the Seabox front office. Craig Sandlin is the May 2025 Will Benson of Seabox Reds, ready to win, but forever held down by the man.
Okay, that's good. Again, I was not. I thought Austin Wynn was going to be a team of endearment based on all of the lavishings that this show has given Austin Wynns over the year. So my apologies.
I mean, heaven forbid we give kudos to a guy that hits 600 and every time he got to play, he just ripped balls off the wall and threw guys out at second base. By the way, I don't know if you've ever seen guys get thrown out at second base.
Beaver?
You sure as hell didn't if Trevino's catching because that guy's got a noodle arm. But that's beside the point. All right, Michael Roth with the last super chat of the night. I hope, please let's end the super so we can kind of finish the show with a bang. If you had a Karcher call-in line, I'd give you my idea. I've been told we need a call-in line. I at some point, I don't know. Sunday nights feel like a good night for call-ins, but for whatever reason, it's just one thing leads to the next, and we don't have that right now. So we'll see what we can do. All right, chat.
Don't we do like hour and a half shows already?
Well, yeah. I mean, heaven forbid. Who knows? Listen, if you've not hit the like button already, please just hit the like button. I know it seems stupid, seems petty, seems like not really worth it, but for whatever dumb reason, it does help our show. Also, with this many people in there, I want to remind everybody that the podcast that comes out in the morning it's different than what this show is. It is a different show. You probably would enjoy it. I think that when you're getting your cup of coffee or you're driving into work or maybe you're maybe a lunch break, you kind of want to just listen to what the presser sounded like, if you want to call it that. Nick does a good job of kind of including those nuggets along with some of our stuff. So go download the podcast if you haven't already. As we always jokingly say, maybe you don't want to listen to it, but on the way out, tell Alexis to, not Alexis, that's a Diaz, but tell Alexa that you'd like to play Chatterbox Reds, and then we'll just walk out the door and let it play in the background. Who cares? I mean, it's just, listener's a listener, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, thank you for the support. We really couldn't do any of this without you. Thanks to DSC 988 and all the folks that obviously continue to support this show. So, great night. Nick, final chime in before we go.
Yeah, final chime in. Pre-game show still going on. They will be live tomorrow at noon. So there will be content during the day. They'll be doing a pregame show at noon. So tune into that, support that. I also will have a new episode on Friday morning. Clay Snowden going to join me. We're going to record something Thursday night. We're going to preview the Tiger series. He covers the Reds and the Tigers for just baseball. So seems like an appropriate guy to bring on. We'll have a little conversation. So a lot more content in your feed here on Chatterbox Sports. So stay tuned to all that.
All right, folks, it's that time where I'm going to try to go and be an athlete. I wish I could say that I had the camera perfectly charged, ready to go. At some point, I'll buy the dummy camera for the second camera now that I have. But right now, I don't have that. So you're just going to have to bear with me. But until next time, we love you. We appreciate you. Go Reds. And let's see what we can do.